Hello everybody and welcome to episode 94 of the Pentagon Challenge. Our life has resumed in club football and it is a new era as I take over Monarcas Morelia in Mexico, and an old friend has appeared to give me my first test in the Primera División. It is Monterrey, excuse me. But we have a few games played already. We'll worry about that later. But now it's time to welcome you to Monarcas Morelia, a club that has not really been a star club in Mexican history. They've only ever won the First Division opening stage once, and the closing stage they were runners-up twice. So they're not likely to be tearing up any trees. But this was the kind of job I wanted, to come to North America and try and win this Champions League, the fifth of five really. Like, I haven't gone to Europe yet, but this is probably the most obscure tournament of the five that I want to win, because half these teams are just absolutely hopeless compared to what you've seen in South America and Asia, and unfortunately I haven't seen the African Champions League, but you get the idea. There are some countries that are competent in that one, but here in North America I'm not so sure. We've got the Mexicans and the United States, but they really should be winning it every year. We have Costa Rica, whose clubs are probably not up to scratch compared to the national team. Canada, part of the MLS, they should be reasonable, but we've got all sorts of random clubs that are not likely to win things. So if I can just make an example, we can see American, Mexican, American, American, Mexican, 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 and United and USA as well. So none of the clubs from outside the States or Mexico are likely to win this tournament. And then if we go into the quarterfinal, it's clear to see that there's a split between the two nations here, but the Mexicans eventually show their class. You can see the Pumas there. That's the club I wanted to get the job for a few episodes ago, but I couldn't quite make it. But in the final, Querétaro beat Chicago Fire. So if Brian Gendo's watching, he'll be gutted with that one. But Querétaro won the Champions League for the first time in their history, I'd say. Where is it? Oh no, they've won it twice, so they're all well and good. But certainly Mexican clubs are winning this tournament every year, so I hope to continue that trend with Morelia, but it's going to take a lot of work. They're expected to finish 6th in this year's league. There we are. But the fact that I do get a shot at the American or the North American Champions League is pivotal. I wouldn't be too keen otherwise, because I don't have a notion how you qualify for the continental tournaments in this nation. It looks like here we are. So the top two teams qualify for Copa Libertadores. The team in third plays in the preliminary round in the opening stage, and then the closing stage, I don't know how that works either, so I'll just have to wait and see if I can make heads or tails of it. But this is a league system I'm very intrigued to try out. It's basically a 17 game season, sort of at the summertime, and then again in the springtime, I'm led to believe, but we don't know just yet, but they do skip over winter. So 17 games, and we'll try and find a champion for the opening stage. And Morelia will be hoping to improve on some of these results. Like, they came 17th just a few years ago. That's deeply worrying, but they have risen to a respectable stage again. They even came 4th in the closing stage last year. So I have a good team, and I'll introduce you to them very shortly. But the one player that I would have loved to see in my lineup has left to go home to Argentina, specifically to Belgrano. His name is Joaquin Vasquez. He scored 7 times in the Copa Libertadores while I was competing for the crown, I think. But anyway, he's gone to Belgrano, and his season will probably start up again soon. But he was a very, very important player for Morelia, particularly 2 seasons ago. He scored 19 times, which is absolutely outstanding. But Morelia decided to take the money and run, but they have given me a reasonable amount of cash to spend, but I haven't been too excitable about it. So before we head into the live com, with Monterrey. I'd just like to quickly bring you through the squad, and I'll do it as quick as I can because time is of the essence. So we'll begin with the goalkeeper, Thiago. He's getting on a bit, but he has served Morelia quite well in the last few seasons. He came from Atletico Mineiro. Before that he was in Italy with Bologna, and then he was a servant to Gremio, which is fine. The backup goalkeeper, not very important to be honest. I might just keep him around just so we don't have an injury crisis. Oscar Vasquez can play anywhere in the midfield, but prefers to be defensively minded, and if it needs be we can put it at right back as well. Reasonable enough player. Juan Manuel Rossi, similar kind of approach, but he likes playing right back just as much. Angel Fernandez, centre back, only 20 years old, not going to worry about him too much. Jose Torres, similar deal. Unfortunately we've lost a good player in Felipe Zamora. He's sprained his ankle, and the Chilean has been around the block with Santiago Wanderers and O'Higgins, but never really settling with that club. John Recuejo. He's 30 years old. He's a veteran at this stage, and he has been at the club for a long time now, but he's never left Mexico, so he should provide the good experience. Valentin Delgado, another youngster, but he actually has something about him, so I hope to see him in the first team a little bit later in his career, and he's being trained up. We've also got Diego Carlos. He plays centre back, and he should be the starter for the majority of the season. Again, he comes from Brazil, but there is a very handy nationality process. You can get a passport in Mexico very quickly, so that means it's easier to register foreign players. So if I can pick Carlos, for example, I'd say he has Mexican nationality at this stage. Yes, he does, because he's been here for 2 years and picks up the eligibility to play for Mexico if he needs to, and he doesn't count as a foreigner in registration. Then we've got Robles as well. He's the captain of the club, and he is vital. He can play in midfield or defence, but I'd say I'll play him in defence for now. We've got one of my signings here to talk about, Luca Fouquet from France. Very unusual pickup, but we were lacking left backs, and I feel given this guy some first team football is of vital importance. As you can see, Amiens have not really done too much with him, but he really could do with more first team football, and that's why I picked him up. Wallison Ricardo, a regen from Brazil as well. He's a very good player, but he doesn't play the attacking midfielder right like I really could use, but he has come from the likes of America and Luverdense and Fortaleza, so he didn't have a great season last year, but I hope for improvement from this guy this year. And another player who can't play the AMR position is Arturo Alvarez, but he is fantastic when you get him going, as far as I'm aware anyway. We've got Raul Moreno. He plays on the left hand side, another excellent talent, and he is a youth product from the club, so that's fantastic to see. Then Alberto Reyes has a good name. At 23 years of age, he's another good pickup from Morelia. Hasn't really settled into a starting position though. We've got Vitor, who's another massive player. He can play in the centre or the right very competently indeed, but he didn't have a good year last year, so I'll try and improve him. Edgar Alafita. Again, these names are all new to me, so I apologise. He's getting on a bit, nearly 30 years old, but he is a big player, having come from Chivas a good few years ago now. We've also got a youngster here, but he's very good. We're very spoiled with left wingers, but not so much with the right hand side, which is something I'd like to improve. But I think this guy might be another youth product. Yes, he would be. Very good. And then we'll finally reach the strike force here. We have no out now attacking midfielders in the centre, but that's something we'll have to improve later on. But let's just talk about our interesting strike force. We've got Jorge Arturo Galeana. He is normally the star of the team up front. He scored 8 times last year, especially considering he wasn't the first pick, with your man from Argentina taking the shots. We've got Jaime Delgadillo. At 19 years of age, he will get some first team football, but not too much, as he just needs to work on his stats. We've also got a player out because of injury, Eder Moraes. He could be a star of the future, but it hasn't quite worked out. But then the gamble I've decided to take, another loan deal, is Rafael. He's also come from France, but he is Brazilian. So ESTAC Trois, or Troy, however you pronounce it. He's come here and he was touted by Valencia, so that is a big coup for me to have him on board, and we'll see how he gets on once he reaches full fitness. Anyway, we've one last thing to talk about really. We have some players coming in, but I didn't quite understand the rules of transfers in Mexico. Basically, you can only sign domestic players within a certain window, and then it opens for foreign transfers only. So I've made all these signings of local players, but they're not going to be able to join me until the end of the opening stage. This guy was bought by the previous manager, and he'll be coming from Colombia. I'd love to have him right now. He can't come any sooner. We really do need more centre midfielders, and I can't wait to have him in the club. And then a defender who was previously at the club. He got released, and then they said, come back, we might need you, but the board aren't too happy about that. However, I am a bit stuck for choice with an unfamiliar league. And then last but not least, let's talk about the pre-season. I was able to take over from the beginning, but we didn't have much time to react. So we played Millonarios, we played Dresden and got we got a draw out of them, which is pretty cool. Then we thrashed Llaneros 5-0. The B team, Morelia Premier 7-1. And then the Chivas B team 4-0. So we have a little bit of confidence heading into the season proper. But our era in charge of the Ivory Coast is over. So that's a real shame. Serie A have a few vacancies open there with Roma, Benfica, and so on. But Vasco have a new manager, and I wish him best of luck, but it's not going so well. I'll show you another time. I am strapped for the episode length. I don't want it to be too long, but anyway, let's head into this live com with Monterrey, see how we get on compared to the Copa Libertadores. Welcome back to the episode, everybody. I hope I'm not taking up too much of your time. I'm filming this a bit late at night, so I'm not at my 100% peak, so to say. However, Monterrey, you will have seen them already in the Pentagon Challenge. They gave my Vasco boys a really difficult assignment, but we got through it courtesy of a late flurry in the last 16 of the Copa. However, with a weaker team and being away from home, I expect a really Herculean task in front of us. They've gone 4-2-3-1 narrow. Most of their players are fully fit, apart from Eurico, number 30 there in defensive midfield. But we've gone for the 4-2-3-1 wide, as I often do, and we'll hope Galeana up top can be fed. And Alafita has scored in every pre-season game that I've been in charge of, which is actually just the 3 or 4 rather than all 6 of them. So we'll hope for a bit of magic from my players, and we'll go out and give it our best shot. So here we go. The sounds are we'll put them on now. The stadium sounds pretty half empty, I'd say, but it could be full, I don't know. Passionately show me what you guys are capable of. They haven't gotten the results out of Monterrey in a long time, so let's try and change our fortunes with the season fully blank, and with anything and everything to play for. Let's go out and give a good opener for me and the fans. And Palos with an early tackle, putting the ball out of play. Here we go, Rossi and Wallison. Vitor on the wide right, and Alafita has scored immediately. Oh, it's a wonderful start, and I just find his name so difficult. Alafita, I just have to remember that. But what a start. I'm a bit drained, but there you go. What a magnificent beginning to this game. And Rossi opens up for Wallace and Mercado, and this could be an extraordinary moment. Oh, what some save. The keeper had a really dangerous situation to deal with, and Robles is offside there, and Monterrey get away with one. However, this is an amazing start. It could be 2-0. Alafita again. What has happened to Monterrey? I haven't a notion, but should I care? No, I should not. We are doing a top job. Monterrey are sinking without a leader, but they could come back at me now. Here we go, clear it. Alvarado does get it in the corner. Lovely strike, and that means we have a game in our hands in just 15 minutes. So we'll go into counter-attack mode. Alafita goes out on the prowl already to Wallison, and it's just too high. Well, I have no words. This is a brilliant game. I think there's something deeply flawed with their back line. I'll just check out ProZone really quickly and see what on earth has happened to Monterrey. Their positioning was dreadful. So we'll look at, first of all, with the ball. Their defensive line is pushed up really high. Look at these wing backs in particular, leaving the defensive midfielder and the centre backs exposed. Without the ball, they retreat a little bit, but it's not very good, to be honest, when we're getting in behind. And then it's pretty much on average there. Our guys keeping it structured. A very good defensive line there, absolutely spot on as far as I'm concerned. With the ball, absolutely fine, leaving the striker a little bit isolated, but it's okay with the left winger scoring for fun. And then the heat map for Monterrey, you can see they're mainly trying to get on the right hand side. We'll go average positions. Yeah, that's pretty much a-okay as far as I'm aware, but they are trying to get down that right wing, and we'll just make sure it's all okay there. So Rossi is a fullback at defend. We don't have the marauding wing backs that we were blessed with at Vasco, so we just have to keep this performance going and keep it defensively solid. So here we go, second half about to begin. And fouls anyway. Moreno with a poor free kick again. I might have to take him off the duty if he doesn't improve in the next few weeks. Alvarez and Reyes combine, and Alvarez stays onside. Goes for a medium high cross. Reyes and Alvarez to Rafael, just too high. Moreno! He certainly sealed the deal here with the belter into the bottom corner. How about that? Absolutely inspired from Morelia Monarcas, and we have 3 points and 3 goals. Not the best performance of this evening, but I don't care. Alvarez goes for the cross again. Moreno to Alafata. Rafael has made it 4-1. What have I inherited here, guys? Oh, it's exemplary. Absolutely wonderful. 4-1 against a team I couldn't beat with Vasco da Gama. 2 thumbs up. We have won by 4-1. Uno cuatro. Quite extraordinary to say the least. And I will be saying quite and truly and absolutely a lot. That is one of the performances of the ages. I know I've seen Shenshua and Vasco da Gama of Cape Town and Rio play out of their skin, but this is nothing that I could have expected. Truly out of this world. Well done, everybody. You can be rightfully proud of yourselves. And that was totally, I predicted a very hard game and probably a good moral defeat, but we have destroyed a top club in the country, and we can hopefully build upon that. We don't get to play any teams until we don't get to play again a repeat game against other teams until the closing stage, but that is how you begin life in a new country and a new league. And Morelia can be they can be delighted with this performance, and we'll certainly move on to the Champions League with our heads held high. Alafita, man of the match, 2 goals and an assist, and that leaves us to play Atlas next weekend. No need to change the team, and then we'll return to a bit of a highlights package, as I don't expect Tauro or River Plate of Puerto Rico to provide any threat to me. So we'll just do highlight packages of them, and we'll see how we get on. But we start perfectly 4-1 away from home. Atlas have lost on the opening day against Pachuca, so we'll keep an eye on that. But as long as we stay in the top 8, we will play in some sort of major fixture in the end of the campaign. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the start of the season, and we'll see you for some Champions League abridged gameplay, and then we might live com another league game in full. Maybe Querétaro, the champions of North America. That seems to make the most sense. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.